Good morning, dear children. Are you fine? Have you completed in the last class portions? Have you written the notes, everything? Okay, those who didn't complete, you should complete it, okay? Today we are going to start a new lesson. Force and energy. What is the topic of the lesson? Force and energy. First, let's see this object. Let's go section, okay? Observe the activities being done below and write yes or no to show whether force is applied to push or pull the objects. With the help of an arrow, show the direction in which the force is applied. Already we have studied about force, yes? When we have to pull or push an object is called force, yes? Listen these pictures. These are the pulling or pushing, yes? You should find the correct answers. Which one is given force? When we apply the force or when we apply pushing or pulling on an object, it is called force. It has different types of force. Let's see that now. Children, already we know about force. Yes, what is force? We can pull or push on an object is called force. When we push any object, it moves from one place to another place. When we pull the object, it will be moved one place to another place. So work is done there. Okay, because of applying, pulling or pushing, the object will be moved. So the force is applied there. That is called force. Okay. It has different types of forces. Today we are going to study about three types of forces. Frictional force or friction, magnetic force or magnetism, gravitational force or gravity. What are the three types of forces? Frictional force or friction. Frictional force or friction, magnetic force or magnetism, gravitational force or gravity. First one is frictional force or friction. Let's see that definition of friction or frictional force. A force that occurs whenever two objects or surfaces rub against each other. It means when we apply the force in between the two objects, that means table or book or any tiles and ball. Okay, we are playing with a ball. So the force is applied with ball and the ground, tiles floor. Okay. In this object in this force it has two objects. A force that occurs whenever two objects or surfaces rub against each other. See, when I am using the chalk piece to write on the board. So, this is the board is the one object and chalk is another one object. Okay. So, when we used to write, chalk is one object and board is another one object. So, in this force included two objects. Okay. Force that occurs whenever two objects or surfaces rub against. It will be touch. Okay. So, in the smooth surfaces cause less friction. Friction means when we are moving from one place to another place, if the place is rub area, it means hard, means it is difficult to walk. The ground is very smooth, we will be walk easily. So we cannot stop. Without stop, we will be walk. Yes? So smooth surfaces cause less friction. Rough surfaces cause more friction. See, when I am writing on the board, it is the smooth board. Yes? so I can write easily. So there is less friction. I will not stop to write. Yes, each word I will stop my writing. So smooth surfaces cause less friction. Rough surfaces, if the board is not clear, if the board is damaged, it is very difficult to write. Yes, so the rough surfaces cause more friction. I need to stop everywhere. It is difficult to write. Yes? Yes. When we are walking by road or in the grass, it will be causes more friction because it is the rough surfaces. When we are walking on the tiles, it is the smooth surface. So it causes only less friction. Do you understand? Smooth surfaces cause less friction. Rough surfaces cause more friction. Next one is, see, in some other areas we need to friction. Without friction we can't do anything. Okay, we need friction. In which are the areas needed friction? Let's see now. We need friction to walk. So, see, if the ground is very smooth or when the ground is slippery, what we will do? We will be fall. Yes? When the surface or rough means or it has more friction, it no need more friction, it needed less friction. If there is no friction, we will be slip on and fall. So we need friction in that areas. Okay, next. To write on a piece of paper with a pencil. We are writing on the paper using a pencil. To write the pencil we need, to write the paper we need pencil. Yes? So we have to hold the pencil properly. If the pencil is slipping, we cannot hold the pencil properly, we cannot write it. Yes? So the pencil also needed the friction. So we can hold the pencil properly. Then when we are writing on the paper, it is easy to write. Otherwise, if the paper is very polished, how we will be write? When we start the letter to write, it will be slipping. We cannot write it properly. Okay. So, friction needed to write on a piece of paper with a pencil. Next one, eraser uses friction to rub off mistakes written using a lead pencil. When we are writing on the paper using the pencil, if any mistake will be there, we need to rub that mistakes using the eraser. Yes? When we rub the mistakes using the eraser, there also needed the friction. It means it will be stop here and there. If there is no friction, it will be very smooth, means we cannot rub that area. Okay. So there also needed the friction. Then driving a car. When the vehicle is moving by road, there needed friction in between the tires and road. Tire is one object and road is one surface. So it is needed in between the tire and road needed friction. Otherwise it will be moved very fast. Next, wheels of a train to stay on the rails of the track. Trains moving by track. If there is no friction, it will be moved very fast. If friction will be there, in the amount of less friction, it will be more smoother. Trains move smoother on the track. Friction is needed for many things, but there is a problem in many situations. What are the problems we will see now? First one is friction is caused when two surfaces rub together. Friction is caused when two surfaces rub together. If any machine is working, it will be The machine means it will be work very fast. If any friction is there in between the machinery parts, then machinery parts will be damaged. Because no need the friction in that machinery parts. It will be rotate very fast. If any friction is in between the machine parts, the machinery parts will be damaged. Next one is friction makes movement difficult. Some areas, for example, vehicle moving by road. Vehicle is moving by road. How it will be moved? It can need to move very fast. In the limit speed, it will be moved. If there is friction, it is difficult to drive the car or driving four-wheelers, anything, vehicles. Okay, next one is friction leads to a lot of wastage of energy. If vehicle is moving by road, if friction is there on roads, it needs to stop everywhere. So, it will be wastage of energy. The vehicle needs extra fuels to moving the roads. Vehicles needs extra fuel like petrol and diesel. Okay, so friction leads to a lot of wastage of energy. How we will avoid the friction? Some areas we need friction. Some areas don't want friction. How we will avoid the friction? In the machinery parts, we have to apply the oil or grease. When we apply the oil or grease, we will avoid friction or we will reduce friction. Do you understand this about friction? Next type of force is magnetic force or magnetism. Just two names, magnetic force or magnetism. Magnetism means a force by which an object attracts. The magnets will be attract the things made of iron or nickel. Magnets will be attract the things made of iron or nickel. That force is called magnetic force or magnetism. The magnets have special property. That means magnets pull the objects made of iron or nickel towards itself. Okay, pull the object means attracts. Magnets attracts the object made of iron or nickel. For example, blade, pin, nails. These are the made of iron or nickel objects. Magnets will be attract. This force is called, or this pulling or this attraction is called magnetic force. So the magnetic force is a force by which an object attracts. Magnets attracts the object. This force is called magnetic force. Next type of force is gravitational force or gravity. The force of attraction with which the earth pulls all the objects towards itself. Because the earth pulls all the object from up. Okay, listen here. I am throwing the chalk up. Again the chalk is coming down because the earth is attracting the objects. Earth has gravitational force. So here the force of attraction with which the earth pulls all the objects towards itself. When we are throwing the ball up, again the ball is coming down. When we are throw the stone up, again the stone comes down. Because the earth is pulling all the objects towards itself. Pulling the objects down. Listen here. This is the hill. Okay. One vehicle is moving. One vehicle is moving uphill. When the vehicle is moving uphill, it is difficult to move up because the earth is attracting the vehicle down. because of force. When we give the force to the vehicle is moving slowly in the uphill. When the vehicle is moving downhill, it is easy to move down because the force is applying the same direction. The earth is pulling the vehicle down. Earth is attracting the vehicle down. So it is easy to move downwards. It is difficult to move the vehicle upwards. It's easy to move the vehicle downwards because of the Earth's attraction. This force is called gravity or gravitational force. Which are the three types of force we have learned today? Frictional force or friction, then magnetic force or magnetism, gravitational force or gravity. You should do the exercise now. Students, take a student's book page number 116. From student's book page number 116. Time please section. Question A. Give one word for the following. First question. A push or a pull. Answer is force. Write the answer in your book. Force that occurs whenever two objects or surfaces rub against each other. Answer is friction. We can write frictional force. Okay. Otherwise friction. Third question. A force by which an object attracts. Magnetism. Fourth question. The force of attraction with which the earth pulls all objects towards its center. Answer is gravity. Fifth question. An object that has the special property to pull objects made of iron and nickel towards itself. Answer is magnetic force. Write the answers and study well. You should refer the book. Thank you, children.